Okay, so you finally got a brand new emulation handheld. Or maybe you've had one for a while now, but you're not completely sure on what more you can do with it. With Odin 2 on the horizon, a lot of people are starting to get into the handheld space again. I was able to secure a superfan pre-order for the Odin 2 Max the very day it went live, which honestly managed to arrive at my door a few months sooner than the initial December release date. While I did upgrade for the ability to emulate high-end systems like the Switch and PS Vita, I am personally a fan of the white bezels, and it goes without saying that the all-white aesthetic makes it feel more like a portable Nintendo Wii. But what else can you do with something like the Odin 2 outside of just using it for emulation? Sure, that's its main use case, but there's so much untapped potential in these devices. When I think of a handheld, I immediately think back to something as nostalgic as the PSP or 3DS, but oftentimes, emulation handhelds never feel as fun to navigate through. There's a ton of ways to elevate your emulation experience, whether that's customizing your front ends to feel more like the handheld you grew up with, using custom bezels to enhance the games you play, replicating real hardware with forgotten features, or even using your device as a second screen in the same vein as a Wii U. There's a lot to talk about in this video, so here's how I'll lay it out. Things will be sorted neatly into 3 sections: front ends, emulation, and use case. Throughout the video, there's going to be multiple mini tutorial segments that showcase how to replicate certain features, with a chirper in the bottom right indicating things like what files are linked in the description, any additional comments I might have missed, or any updated information changed between recording and editing this video. Lastly, for the sake of demonstration, I will be using the Odin 2 as a standard example to showcase these features, but these can apply to just about any capable Android handheld. Alright, no more wasting time. Let's jump right into it. What you're hearing right now isn't just background audio I added in for the video. This is a real BGM track playing natively as the home launcher is active. You might be thinking, wait, Daidisho doesn't support background music? Well, what if I told you that you can assign any music track to any app you want? The track I'm using for Daidisho is an OST for the DSi camera. If the Play Store is too silent for you, here's what it sounds like with the 3DS channel OST. Even an app that isn't as utilized on these devices, like Discord, can be a pleasant experience when adding a track straight out of the Wii's Nintendo channel. For some reason, I think of the old Miiverse days whenever I navigate Discord this way. For this to work, I use an app called Tasker, which did cost me like $2, but trust me, it's well worth it. It might look a bit intimidating, but it's pretty straightforward. Press the plus icon and in the drop-down menu, select Application. Here, you can select any app or launcher you want to create a task for. Once you've selected your app, press the back button and you'll be prompted to add a new task. Selecting the plus icon will let you add an action of your choice. In this case, we'll search for the music play option, which brings us to our last window. Use the search icon to navigate your BGM's file directory and select any audio file of your choosing. Once you've selected it, make sure to tick the box that says loop. This way, your track can play endlessly in the background. Press the back button twice to go back to your Profiles tab. Now we need to add an exit task to make sure the music stops playing whenever the app is out of focus. For example, when you launch a game, and most importantly, when you put the device to sleep. Long press the existing task and choose Add Exit Task. Once again, we're prompted to add a new task and name it just like we did for the original. This time, when we add a new action, we'll search for Music Stop and select it. There's nothing to do in this new window, so you can just go back to your Profiles tab again. Okay, lastly, long press the launcher portion of your profile and select Add. Then select the State option. From here, choose Display, then Display State. Simply change your state to on, and you're good to go. Now you're able to enjoy your custom BGM on your favorite launcher. Visual customizations are probably the most important part when it comes to bringing life to your initial setup. One of the most tedious things when you're adding games is the scraping process, which is a background action that collects image data for each of your ROMs. creating the overall appearance of your game library. But if you're experienced in this field, you'll know that not every game looks as good as it should, and some box art doesn't even fit consistently with the rest of your collection. Sadly, making your setup look the way you want requires a ton of manual adjustments, and there's no way around it. But the hard work does pay off. For SNES, I prefer using the Japanese box art for each game since it's more appealing to me. But of course, it requires hunting for the right images on my own for each and every game. In some cases, the box art might look a bit different than the rest, or I just flat out don't like the way it looks. This is where I use my creative skills to design my own box art, just like I did for Super Mario RPG, catering to the portrait aspect ratio. Some artwork, like Mother 2, is just flat out ugly to me, which hurts more considering this is one of my favorite games. This is something I do for lots of games in my collection, especially those that don't even have proper box art to begin with. Lucky for you, I don't gatekeep my custom assets. Every HD render for Japanese box art I've collected, as well as every custom design I've made, are readily available for all of you to use for your own collection. I'll even include PSD files for each system layout so you can make your own box art in the future while having accurate dimensions. Daijishou's widget feature is one of my favorite things to come out of emulation frontends. These are fully customizable panels that function as shortcuts for various features. I've stated in the past that this tab functions as my homepage, and that still holds up today, thanks to the fact that I'm able to customize these icons and even insert very obscure software that I don't want to include in my main collection, like the Wii Home menu and Mi Maker, among other things. Believe it or not, a good chunk of these icons were custom made for my widgets page alone. I'll include a link to the icons I have at my disposal if you want to use them for yourself. Obviously, there's tons of other front ends outside of Daijishou, each with their own unique ways of letting you customize the user experience. A lot of you are probably fans of the XMB menu used in the PSP, which RetroArch does a decent job replicating as best as it can. But with a bit of extra work, you can come a lot closer to replicating the actual XMB. For starters, we'll use the official XMB menu driver, which you can find in the driver setting within RetroArch itself. Now let's fix these basic looking icons with actual icons from the XMB. And now we're left with a much better set of icons that don't look out of touch with what the XMB originally went for. Next, the main font. Believe it or not, this is just as important as the icons are. Much like the icons, this font was impossible to find for a while, and I had to jump through hoops to get the exact one used in the official XMB. I finally managed to get my hands on it, and now the text can be as mid-2000s as it was meant to be. But we're not done. RetroArch also supports menu sounds, meaning we can use SFX files from the XMB by replacing the RetroArch assets like we did for the icons. Select the default color, and there you have it. A more authentic PSP experience at the palm of your hand. And of course, I won't leave you guys hanging. Everything I've showcased here, from the icons to the font and the sound files, will be linked in the description in case you want to try it for yourself. If you don't want to put in any of the work when it comes to customizing your own themes, thankfully, there's other enticing options out there that could elevate your home launcher experience.
Emulation.
During my Retro Achievements video, I showcased an early version of my custom-made NSO bezels that helped utilize a 16:9 aspect ratio when playing older games. Since then, I've updated the design and even added a few extra things to make it feel a bit more authentic. I'm not too much of a fan when it comes to hard edges, as you can probably tell by now, so I added rounded corners to the play area to completely revitalize the look and feel of what's on screen. It's a small touch, but one of my favorites because of it. I also added a player icon in the top left corner just to imitate the look and feel of an official NSO layout, but it serves no purpose other than being purely cosmetic. Other systems are a bit less straightforward when it comes to aspect ratios, my favorite one being the 3DS. For these games specifically, I took the design of the new 3DS and spent 5 hours of my life deconstructing it and designing a unified layout to fit in a 16:9 aspect ratio. Kind of made me nostalgic since I love the new 3DS design. I actually did make a variant styled after a white lavender Nintendo 2DS XL for my friend ET Land XOXO, which she showcased in one of her recent videos. Love your channel, ET. These custom bezels, as well as the updated NSO bundle, will be available for everyone who wants to try them out. I have also included the PSD files for the NSO bundle in case you want to change certain things like sharpening the corners for the play area, customizing the player icon, adding more of them, or removing it entirely. If you made it this far, thanks a lot. I hope this helped some of you find unique ways to utilize your handhelds and make them your own. If you want to know more about me, what I do, or what I look like, my social media links are there in the bottom right corner. Thank you guys for watching. This is Usagi Shade, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Take care.